Cody slid the DNA test consent form across the conference table. Thursday morning. Patterson and Associates. Corner office with leather chairs and a view nobody was looking at. The form landed between my coffee and Dad's will. "I want this done before we proceed," Cody said. "Not a question, a demand." Patterson looked uncomfortable. Navy suit, silver cufflinks. The kind of lawyer who charged $450 an hour to watch families implode. "Mr. Mitchell, this is highly irregular. My father left a $2.78 million estate. I want confirmation of biological relation before distribution." Patterson glanced at me. Then Mom. She stared at her lap like it held answers. I picked up the form. Read it. Set it down. "You're questioning if I'm Dad's son." "I'm requesting verification." Cody leaned back, arms crossed. "Look at us, Alex. Blonde hair, blue eyes, 6'2". You're 5'10" with dark hair and brown eyes. You look like Mom's side. I look like Dad. True on all counts, except the one that mattered. Genetics aren't always visible, Patterson started, which is why we test. Cody tapped the form. If Alex is Dad's biological son, we split everything 50-50 and move on. If not, the will has contingency clauses. I looked at Mom. She wouldn't meet my eyes. I looked at Patterson. He waited. I picked up the pen. Signed. Dated. Pushed the form back. "Schedule it." Cody blinked. "What?" "You want proof? Let's get proof." Patterson cleared his throat. "Alex, you're under no legal obligation." "I know. Schedule it anyway." Silence. Cody had expected a fight. Yelling, accusations. Didn't get any. "I appreciate you being reasonable about this," he finally said. I didn't respond. Patterson made notes. "DNA testing takes 5 to 7 business days. I'll schedule LabCorp appointments for Monday. Results will determine distribution per the will's contingency protocols." He looked at Mom. "Mrs. Mitchell?" She nodded. Barely. Meeting ended. We filed out. Elevator down in silence. Parking lot half empty. Cody's BMW sat in the corner. Metallic silver. Vanity plate, winner. My Honda was 3 rows over, 10 years old, reliable. Cody unlocked his car. "I'll see you Monday," drove off. Mom walked to her Camry, stopped, turned. "He doesn't know what he's doing." "Yes, he does." She opened her mouth, closed it, got in her car. I sat in my Honda, engine off. Thought about Cody's face when I signed. The surprise, the confusion. He wanted resistance, drama, proof of guilt. Instead, I gave him exactly what he asked for. And in 7 days, he'd get exactly what he deserved. I drove to Dad's house, 20 minutes through midday traffic, the lakefront property, $2.2 million, 4 acres, 3 bedrooms, mine and Cody's inheritance, if the DNA said so. I had keys. Let myself in through the side door. Place smelled like Dad. Coffee, wood stain, old books, everything exactly where he left it. Jacket on the chair, boots by the door, remote on the armrest. Patterson had asked me to start sorting personal items per estate protocol. I started in the living room. Photo albums. Tax returns from the 90s. Dad's high school yearbook. Packed them into boxes. Moved to the office. Desk covered in boat magazines and unpaid bills. Dad passed away working on a boat he'd never finish. I opened the desk drawers. Pens. Batteries. Warranties for appliances we no longer owned. Bottom drawer stuck. I pulled harder. It scraped open. Inside was a lockbox. Small. Metal. Combination lock. I tried Dad's birthday. Wrong. Tried Mom's. Wrong. Tried mine. Clicked open. Inside were documents. Marriage certificate. Birth certificates. Mine, Cody's. And a letter. Yellowed envelope. Return address. Corrigan, D. Seattle, WA. Dated August 1987. Month after Cody was born. I opened it standing there in Dad's office. "Robert," Linda told me about the situation. "I didn't know she was married when we met. She said you were separated. I'm moving to Oregon next week." New job. Clean start. I don't know if the kid is mine. Honestly, don't want to know. If you're raising him, he's yours. I won't interfere. Sorry for the mess. David. I read it twice, then photographed it. Saved to cloud. Backed up twice. Kept digging through the lockbox. Medical records. Dad's. From 2023. Oncology appointment notes. Handwriting and margins. Need to update will, paternity clause, just in case boys fight over it. Dad knew. Even near the end, he knew this might happen. I photographed those too. Put everything back. Closed the lockbox. Left it in the drawer. Kept packing. Found Dad's journal in the closet. Leather-bound. Worn at edges. Flipped through pages. Entry dated June 14th, 1987. Linda told me today, about David, about Cody, about everything. It doesn't change how I feel. He's mine regardless of biology, but someday this might matter. Writing it down just in case. Another entry, March 2024. Saw Alex today. Fixed the furnace without being asked. Didn't want payment. Just did it. Cody calls twice a month asking for money. Never offers help. I know which one earned this inheritance. I stood there holding that journal. Dad knew. Always knew. And he chose me anyway. Not because of blood. Because of everything else. I photographed 5 pages. Backed them up. Put the journal back exactly where I found it. Finished packing the office. 3 boxes loaded into my car. Locked up. Drove home. My apartment felt smaller after 3 hours in Dad's house. I made coffee, sat at my kitchen table, opened my laptop. Drafted an email to Patterson. Found some documents while sorting Dad's belongings. Maybe relevant to estate proceedings. Available if needed. Attached nothing. Just letting him know I had evidence. Sent it. Patterson replied in 12 minutes. Noted. Thank you for the update. I closed the laptop. Thought about Monday. The DNA test. The results that would follow. Cody questioned my paternity in front of a lawyer. Made Mom sit there in silence. Demanded proof like I was a fraudulent claim. He could have pulled me aside. Asked privately. Handled it like family. Instead, he made it a legal proceeding. So now it would be handled legally. And legal didn't care about who looked like who. It cared about chromosomes. Science. Numbers that don't lie. I pulled out my phone. Scrolled to photos. Found the one of Dad's journal entry. I know which one earned this inheritance. Read it 3 times. Then, put my phone down. Poured a second cup of coffee even though it was 6 p.m. Monday would come. The test would happen, results would follow. And Cody would learn that looking like someone and being someone's son aren't the same thing. But that would come later. Right now, I had 4 more days to prepare. 4 days to gather every piece of evidence. 4 days to make absolutely sure that when this exploded, I'd have receipts for everything. Because Cody wanted proof? I'd give him proof, just not the kind he expected. Friday morning, I went back to the lake house. More packing, more sorting. Estate protocol required everything documented. I worked through Dad's bedroom, closet, drawers, nightstand. Found his watch in the top drawer. The Seiko with the silver band. Engraved on the back. To Robert, love always. Linda, 1985. Year before Cody was born. When marriage certificates still meant something. I put it on my wrist, fit perfectly, kept packing. Under the bed I found a shoebox, opened it. Letters, cards, all from me. Father's Day cards from when I was 8. Thank you notes from college. Birthday cards I'd mailed from my first apartment. Every single one saved. I looked for Cody's cards, found 3. All generic. To Dad, happy birthday. Mine had drawings, messages. You're the best dad ever in crayon. Dad kept them all. I closed the box, set it aside for myself. Bathroom cabinet, old medications, shaving cream, aspirin, and a folder tucked behind towels. I pulled it out. Legal documents, estate planning notes, first draft of the will. Dated 2019. Distribution. Equal split between both sons. Second draft. 2023. Distribution. Primary assets to biological heir in event of dispute. Dad updated the will after his cancer scare, after he wrote in his journal about who earned what. He'd seen this coming, knew Cody would question it eventually, and he'd planned for it. I photographed the drafts, both versions, saved everything to cloud, packed the folder in my box, spent 6 hours at the lake house that day, filled 7 boxes, loaded them in my Honda, drove home as the sun set. That night I organized everything, created a folder on my laptop, labeled it Estate Evidence. Inside went photos of David Corrigan's letter, 1987, Dad's journal entries, 1987-2024, medical records with notes, will drafts showing intentional changes, the box of cards. Dad saved. Everything documented. Everything backed up. Everything ready. Cody wanted a fight? He'd get paperwork. Monday morning arrived cold and gray. LabCorp downtown. Appointment at 9 a.m. I pulled into the parking lot at 8:55. Cody's BMW already there. He sat inside scrolling his phone. I parked 3 spaces over, got out, locked my door, walked toward the entrance. His door opened. "Alex, hey." I stopped. He jogged over, breath visible in December air. "I appreciate you doing this. Really. Shows you've got nothing to hide." I adjusted Dad's watch on my wrist. The Seiko caught morning light. "You demanded the test, Cody. I'm just following through." He noticed the watch. His expression flickered. "That's Dad's." "Was." Patterson said I could take personal items while sorting the estate. He looked like he wanted to say something. Didn't. We walked inside together. Waiting room was standard medical. Gray chairs, outdated magazines. Fake plant nobody dusted. Nurse called us back at 9:07. Small room. 2 chairs, supplies already laid out. She verified IDs, photographed our driver's licenses, explained the cheek swab process. Results take 5 to 7 business days. You'll receive them via email and physical mail. Attorney's office will receive copies as well. She swabbed Cody first. Inside of cheek, 30 seconds, sealed in a tube labeled Subject A, Cody James Mitchell. Then me. Same process, quick, clinical. Tube labeled Subject B, Alex Robert Mitchell. Reference sample from Dad obtained during autopsy per estate law. Whole thing took 14 minutes. We walked out together. Parking lot, cold wind, gray sky. Cody stopped at his car. "When this comes back, I want you to know." "Don't," I cut him off. "You made this a legal issue. It'll be resolved legally." I got in my Honda, drove away without looking back. 5 days until results. 5 days until Cody learned the truth. 5 days until everything changed. But I was ready. Had been ready since the moment he slid that consent form across Patterson's desk. Some people think preparation is about having answers. It's not. It's about having receipts. And I had every single one. Thursday morning, Patterson's office, 2 p.m., 6 days since the DNA test. Same conference room, same leather chairs, same view nobody was watching. Different atmosphere. Cody sat forward, confident, relaxed, dressed like he'd already won. Mom sat rigid, hands folded, knuckles white. I wore Dad's watch, the Seiko, and the same blue button-down from the first meeting. Patterson entered, closed the door, sat down, opened a manila folder. "Thank you for coming. I have the DNA results from LabCorp." Cody leaned forward. This was his moment. Patterson pulled out the document. Subject 1, Cody James Mitchell, age 38. Pause. Reference sample, Robert Allen Mitchell, deceased. Longer pause. DNA match, 0.0%. The room went silent. Conclusion, no biological relation detected. Cody's smile froze. Patterson continued. Subject 2, Alex Robert Mitchell, age 35. DNA match, 99-97%. Confirmed biological son. I watched Cody's face drain of color, watched his hands grip the armrests, watched his whole world collapse in the space between heartbeats. Patterson set down the paper. Per the will's contingency clause, primary estate assets transfer to the confirmed biological heir. The $2.2 million property, $400,000 investment accounts, and liquid assets of $180,000 transfer to Alex Mitchell. Cody's mouth opened. No sound came out. "What do I get?" he finally whispered. "A cash bequest of $25,000 plus personal items from the residence. Your father specified, 'To the son I raised with love, regardless of blood.'" "25,000?" Cody's voice cracked. "I'm his son." "Legally, no. Emotionally, that's between your family." Cody looked at Mom. Tell them this is wrong." Mom started crying, the guilty kind. "Mom." She couldn't look at him. "Mom." Her voice came out barely above a whisper. "I had an affair, 1987. His name was David Corrigan." The room went ice cold. "What?" Cody stood up, swayed slightly. "Your father knew from the beginning. He chose to raise you anyway, as his own." "You lied to me for 38 years, Mom sobbed. Cody turned to me. "You knew." Not a question. "You knew and you let me do this. You sat there and watched me humiliate myself." "You demanded the test," I said quietly. "I took it. This is what you wanted." "What I wanted was for Dad's funeral to be about Dad. Not about you questioning whether I'm family." Cody grabbed his coat. Walked out. Door slammed. Engine started in the parking lot. Tires screeched. Gone. Mom collapsed into fresh sobs. Patterson waited until she left with Aunt Sarah, who'd been waiting outside. Then he pulled an envelope from his briefcase. "Your father left this, to be given to you only if the DNA test occurred." The envelope was sealed. Dad's handwriting. "To Alex, if Cody took the test." I opened it. "Alex, if you're reading this, Cody chose pride over family. You don't owe him mercy. The house is yours legally. More importantly, you earned it. You were the dependable one, the loyal one. Cody got my money growing up. You got my values. I'm proud of you. Love, Dad." First time he'd ever written those words. Had to breathe his last for me to read them. Patterson handed me transfer documents. "Property transfers December 20th. I'll handle the paperwork." I signed. Left. Sat in my Honda in the parking lot for 10 minutes. Engine off? Just breathing. Then drove to the lake house. Dad's house. My house now. I had work to do. The lake house sat quiet in afternoon light. I let myself in through the side door. More sorting to do. More boxes to pack. But first, I needed to finish what I'd started. I went to the garage. Dad's workspace. Tools on pegboards. Boat on blocks. Half-finished project he'd never complete. Workbench covered in sawdust and plans. I opened the cabinet underneath. Old paint cans, sandpaper, shop rags. And a photo album I'd never seen. Pulled it out. Sat on Dad's workbench stool. Opened it. Wedding photos. Family holidays. Normal stuff. Then a photo that stopped me cold. Mom, younger. Standing next to a man I didn't recognize. Conference name tag visible, Seattle Tech Summit, 1987. The man was tall, dark hair, brown eyes, looked like me. I flipped the photo over. Dad's handwriting. David Corrigan, Linda, Seattle, March 1987. Dad had kept a photo of the man Mom cheated with. Filed it in an album in the garage where no one would find it. Not to forget. To remember. To have proof if it ever mattered. I photographed the picture. Both sides. Kept flipping pages. Found more. Cody's high school graduation. College acceptance letter from University of Washington. And tucked behind it, a rejection letter. From Stanford. Dated 2003. Cody had applied to Stanford. Got rejected. Never told anyone. But Dad knew. And instead of letting Cody feel the failure, he'd hidden the letter and paid for UW instead. I photographed the rejection letter, kept searching, found bank statements, Dad's checking account. 2015-2024. Highlighted transactions. Cody, law school, $18,000. Cody, house down payment help, 15,000. Cody, car cosign, 12,000, page after page. Thousands of dollars to Cody over the years. And for me? Alex, community college, $2,000. Nothing else. Because I never asked. I photographed every statement showing the disparity. Spent 3 hours in that garage going through everything Dad had kept. Every piece of evidence. Every hidden truth. Every dollar spent. By the time I finished, I had a complete picture. Dad raised Cody knowing he wasn't his biological son. Paid for everything. Supported everything. Hid his failures. Enabled his life. And me? I got silence. Independence. The expectation of self-sufficiency. Not because Dad loved me less. Because he expected more from me. And I delivered. I loaded the photo album into my car, locked the garage, walked back inside, kitchen, living room, bedrooms, still so much to sort through. I made coffee in Dad's kitchen, his mug, his coffee maker, sat at his table looking out at the lake. Quiet. Peaceful. Mine now. Found Mom's old jewelry box in the back of the master bedroom closet. Inside was a folded piece of paper. A letter. From Mom to Dad. Dated July 1987. Robert, I'm pregnant. It might not be yours. I'm so sorry. If you want me to leave, I understand. Dad's response was written at the bottom in his handwriting. We'll raise him together. He's ours. No one needs to know. R. 47 words that changed 3 lives. I photographed the letter, put it back, kept packing. By 6 p.m. I had 11 boxes loaded in my car. I locked up the lake house, stood in the driveway looking at it. 4 acres, 3 bedrooms. Lake access. 2.2 million. Mine. I got in my Honda and drove home. Stopped at the hardware store for more boxes. Inside, loading my cart, I heard a voice. Alex? Mr. Brennan, Dad's old coworker. Mr. Brennan, hey. Heard about your father. I'm sorry. Thank you. He paused. Your dad was proud of you boys, both of you. I nodded. He walked away. I stood there holding a flat pack box. Proud of you boys. Even Cody, especially Cody. Hid his failures, paid his debts, for 38 years. And Cody repaid him by demanding a DNA test 6 days after the funeral. My phone buzzed. Text from Cody. We need to talk. Deleted it. Another. You can't just take everything. Deleted. Third. I'm getting a lawyer. Turned off my phone. I went home, made dinner, ate standing at the counter. Email from Patterson. Cody's attorney contacted me. He's contesting the will. Formal hearing scheduled. I'll keep you updated. Expected. I replied. Understood. I have documentation if needed. Finished eating. Washed my plate. Sat on my couch staring at nothing. Thought about the photo of David Corrigan. The rejection letter from Stanford. The bank statements showing thousands to Cody, hundreds to me. Mom's letter from 1987. Dad's response, he's ours. All the evidence sitting in my car right now. Proof of everything. But proof of what exactly? That Dad loved Cody despite the lies? That Mom's affair 38 years ago still mattered? That Cody lived his whole life not knowing he was built on a secret? I didn't know if any of that made me right or him wrong. Just made us both victims of choices neither of us made. 17 missed calls when I turned my phone back on. I didn't call anyone back. Instead, I opened my laptop and started a document. Timeline. Every discovery. Every piece of evidence. Every date. Organized. Documented. Ready. If Cody wanted a legal fight, I'd fight legally. No emotion, no drama. Just paperwork and facts. The way Dad would have handled it. I worked until midnight. Then closed my laptop, turned off the lights. Went to bed thinking about what came next. The lawsuit, the hearing, the family falling apart, and somewhere in the middle, the decision of what to do with a house worth $2.2 million that I never asked for. Saturday morning, 9 a.m. Knock at my door. I looked through the peephole. Uncle Jim. I opened the door. Alex. Uncle Jim. He held a thermos. Brought coffee. Can I come in? I stepped aside. He poured 2 cups without asking, handed me one. I heard about the DNA test, the results, the will. I drank my coffee, said nothing. Your mother called me crying. Cody called me angry. Thought I'd check on you. I'm fine. Are you? I set down my cup. What do you want me to say? That I'm sorry Cody isn't Dad's son? That I feel guilty for inheriting what the will says is legally mine? No. I want you to tell me what you're going to do. About what? About your brother, your family, this whole damn mess. I looked at him. Really looked. Uncle Jim was the only person who'd ever treated me and Cody the same. No favorites, no golden child. Just 2 nephews. Cody's suing, I said. Contesting the will. I know, it won't go anywhere. Then why are you here? He finished his coffee. Because when this is over, you're going to have everything and he's going to have nothing. And I want to make sure you thought about what that means. What it means is Cody gambled and lost. It means your family's destroyed. Cody destroyed it. Not me. Uncle Jim stood up, walked to the door, stopped, turned. Your dad called me 2 months before he passed away. Said he was worried. Said he knew this day was coming. Asked me to keep an eye on both of you when it did. He opened the door. I'm keeping that promise. Even if you don't think you need it. And he left. I stood there in my kitchen. Stared at the empty cup Uncle Jim left behind. Thought about what he said. Then went back to packing boxes. Because there was still a lake house full of Dad's life waiting to be sorted. And I was the only one left to do it. Uncle Jim's visit stuck with me longer than I wanted to admit. Not the words. The look in his eyes. Like he was watching 2 nephews destroy each other and couldn't stop it. I finished packing the lake house by Tuesday. 14 boxes total. Every room emptied of personal items. Property was legally mine as of December 20th. 9 days away. Wednesday morning I got the formal lawsuit notice. Cody James Mitchell versus estate of Robert Allen Mitchell. Claim, unjust enrichment. Promissory estoppel. Intentional infliction of emotional distress. Argued that 38 years of being raised as Robert's son created an implicit contract. That the will's paternity clause was unconscionable. That Alex Mitchell manipulated the situation. Court date, January 18th. My lawyer called an hour after I received it. This won't hold. DNA trumps emotional arguments in estate law, but he's going to make noise. Let him. Alex, this could drag out. Cost you time, energy, legal fees. Send me the bill. I'll handle it. She paused. You're angrier than you sound. I'm not angry. I'm done. Hung up. But she was wrong about one thing. I wasn't angry. I was something colder than that. Thursday, I drove to Westfield Manufacturing. Dad's old workplace. He'd retired 3 years ago, but his friends still work there. I needed to pick up his final paycheck stub for estate paperwork. HR said it'd be ready. Walked into the main office at 2 p.m. Receptionist recognized me. Alex Mitchell? Yes, ma'am. I'll grab that for you. One moment. She disappeared into the back. I stood in the lobby. Photos on the wall. Employee of the month. Safety records. Company milestones. Dad's photo from 2019. Employee of the year. Then I heard a voice. That's Robert's boy. Turned around. 3 men in work uniforms. Dad's old crew. Hank, Martinez, Steve. Hank stepped forward. You're the spitting image of your mom. Cody looks just like Robert, though. I didn't correct him. Martinez jumped in. Heard about the inheritance mess. Family stuff's always complicated. Yeah? Steve leaned against the wall. Your dad talked about you both all the time. Proud of Cody's law degree. Proud of you fixing everything without asking for help. He said that? All the time. Alex doesn't need me to tell him he's capable. He already knows. The receptionist returned with an envelope. Here you go, Alex. I took it. Thanked her. Started to leave. Hank called out. Hey, Alex? I stopped. Your dad was a good man. Whatever's happening with your family, he'd want you boys to figure it out. Not lawyers. I nodded. Left. Sat in my car in the parking lot. Stared at the envelope. Dad was proud of me. Told his coworkers. Just never told me. I drove home with that thought circling my brain. December 20th arrived. Property officially transferred to my name. $2.2 million lakefront house. 4 acres. Fully mine. I got the notification via email at 9:47 a.m. Sat there staring at my phone. Owned a house I didn't want to live in. Had money I didn't know how to spend. And a brother who hated me for it. That afternoon, I listed the property with a real estate agent. Margaret Chen. 53. Specialized in high-value estates. She walked the property, took notes, photos. This'll sell fast, lake access, mature trees, good bones. I'm thinking $15 million asking. How fast can it close? Month? Maybe less if the buyer's paying cash. Do it. She looked at me. You sure? This is your family home. It was my dad's home. Now it's an asset. She didn't argue. Listed it that night. Offer came in 4 days later. $2.1 million. Cash buyer. Close in 3 weeks. I accepted it immediately. New Year came and went. January 4th. Property sale paperwork finalized. January 10th. Mom called. I answered this time. Alex, we need to talk. About what? About Cody, about the lawsuit, about everything. There's nothing to talk about, Mom. He's struggling. Jessica's threatening to leave him. He's burned through his savings on legal fees. And? Silence on her end. You want me to drop the inheritance? I want you to consider helping your brother. He's not my brother, Mom. DNA test proved that. His words, not mine. Alex. He questioned my paternity in front of a lawyer. Made you confess to a 38-year-old affair in public. Sued me because Dad's will didn't go his way. When exactly was I supposed to feel charitable? She started crying. I have to go, Mom. Hung up. Felt nothing. January 12th. Unexpected visitor. Knock on my door at 7 p.m. Opened it to find Jessica, Cody's wife. She looked exhausted, dark circles, hair in a messy bun, no makeup. Jessica, can I come in, please? I stepped aside. She sat on my couch. I stayed standing. What do you need? I need you to know Cody's losing his mind. He's obsessed with this lawsuit, spending money we don't have, yelling at lawyers, not sleeping. I didn't ask him to sue me. I know. I told him to drop it. Told him 100 times. He won't listen. Why are you here? She looked up. Because someone needs to tell you the truth. Cody's been a mess his whole life. Your dad enabled it, paid for his mistakes, covered for his failures, and Cody never learned to be accountable. I sat down across from her. When the DNA results came back, Cody lost more than an inheritance. He lost his identity. He doesn't know who he is if he's not Robert Mitchell's son. That's not my problem. I know. But I thought you should know the lawsuit isn't about money. It's about him trying to prove he still matters. She stood up, walked to the door. I'm leaving him, Alex. Filing next week. I can't watch him destroy himself anymore. But before I go, I wanted you to know, you're not the villain here. He is. And your dad enabled him into being one. She left. I sat there for an hour processing that. Cody's wife sided with me. The one person who should have defended him walked away instead. January 15th, 3 days before the hearing. Aunt Sarah called. Your mother's book club knows everything. The affair, Cody, the DNA test. It's spreading. How? Your mother told them. She was distraught. Needed someone to talk to. Great. People are talking, Alex. Some think you're cruel. Others think Cody had it coming. I don't care what people think, she sighed. Just be prepared. Court's going to be ugly. She hung up. January 18th. Courthouse. 9 a.m. I wore Dad's watch. Blue button down. Game face. My lawyer met me outside courtroom D. Ready? Let's finish this. Inside, Cody sat with his attorney. Young guy, cheap suit, looked nervous. Mom sat in the back row. Aunt Sarah next to her. Uncle Jim on the opposite side. Alone. Judge Hendricks presided. Man in his 60s. No nonsense type. Reviewed the case file for 5 minutes. Then looked up. Mr. Mitchell, Cody Mitchell, you initiated DNA testing to contest inheritance. Correct? Cody stood. Yes, Your Honor. Results confirmed you are not the biological son of the deceased, correct? Yes, but... And the will explicitly states primary assets transfer to biological heirs in event of paternity dispute, correct? Cody's lawyer stood. Your Honor, my client was raised for 38 years as Robert Mitchell's son. The emotional reality? Judge Hendricks held up his hand. Counselor, I've read your brief. Emotional arguments don't override genetic evidence in estate law. The deceased was aware of the paternity situation, made provisions accordingly. He looked at Cody. Your father left you $25,000 and personal items. That was his choice. This court will not override a clear, legally sound will based on feelings. Gavel. Case dismissed. 8 minutes start to finish. Cody's lawyer tried to speak. Your Honor, if we could... Dismissed, Counselor. Next case. We filed out. Hallway. Cody stood frozen, staring at nothing. His lawyer handed him papers. Invoice, probably. Walked away. Mom approached Cody. He pulled away from her, walked to the exit alone. I watched him go. Uncle Jim caught up to me. You won. Yeah. Feel good about it? I feel done. He studied my face. What now? Now I move on. January 25th. Lake House sale closed. $2.1 million minus closing costs and agent fees. $2.02 million net. Combined with the $400,000 investments and $180,000 liquid assets from the estate. $2.6 million total. I sat at my kitchen table staring at my bank account. Numbers I never imagined having. Life-changing money. And I felt nothing. That night I couldn't sleep. Kept thinking about Cody standing in that courthouse hallway. The way his face looked when the judge dismissed everything in 8 minutes. The way Mom tried to touch his arm and he pulled away. The way he walked out alone. I'd won, legally, completely. But it didn't feel like winning. Felt like I'd inherited a war and nobody survived. 2 a.m., I got up, made coffee, pulled out my checkbook, stared at it for 20 minutes, then wrote a check. $200,000. Payable to Cody James Mitchell. Memo line. From Dad. Because he loved you. Sealed it in an envelope. Mailed it certified mail the next morning. My lawyer called when she found out. Alex, you didn't owe him anything. The court made that clear. I know. Then why? Because I owed it to myself to sleep at night. She didn't understand. Didn't need to. 3 days later, my phone rang. Unknown number. It's Cody. I didn't say anything. I got your check. I don't understand why. You don't need to. After everything I did, the test, the lawsuit, the things I said. Dad raised you for 38 years. Loved you. This isn't from me. It's from him. Silence. Long silence. I'm sorry, he said finally. Voice cracking. For all of it. I know. Can we ever? I don't know, Cody. Not today. Okay, thank you. For the money. For everything. He hung up. I set the phone down, stared out my window. Felt something I hadn't felt in months. Not happiness, not satisfaction, just resolution. Like I'd finally closed a chapter that needed closing. The money was handled, the property was sold, the lawsuit was dismissed, the family was fractured but acknowledged. I'd kept enough to be secure, gave enough to be decent, found the line between justice and mercy. Dad would have approved, I think. February 1st, I signed a lease on a small house in Denver. 3 bedrooms. Paid $620,000 cash. Fresh start. New city. No family baggage within driving distance. I told Mom over the phone. You're moving? Yeah. When? Next week. Can I see you before you go? Maybe, I'll let you know. Started packing that night. Not much to pack. 10 years of bachelor living fit in 12 boxes. Furniture I donated, clothes I kept. Everything else went to Goodwill. By February 7th, I was ready. Loaded my Honda. Closed my apartment for the last time. Drove to Mom's house before leaving town. She answered the door in her robe. 10 a.m. Alex. Hey, Mom. She hugged me. I hugged back. We sat in her living room. Coffee, small talk. Have you talked to Cody? She asked. No. He cashed your check, used it to pay off debts, started therapy, got a new job at a smaller firm. Good. He asks about you. What do you tell him? That you're healing, in your own way. I finished my coffee, stood. I need to go, long drive. She walked me to the door. Do you forgive me yet? I thought about it. I'm working on it. That's the best I can do. She nodded, wiped her eyes. Be safe. Call when you get there. I drove away, watching her house shrink in the rearview mirror. Felt lighter with every mile. Not because I'd escaped, because I'd finished what needed finishing. Denver was 17 hours away. I had a podcast queue, full tank of gas, and a future that was finally mine. No lawsuits, no family drama, no expectations. Just me and whatever came next. And for the first time in months, that felt like enough. Denver in February was cold but clean. My house sat in a quiet neighborhood 20 minutes from downtown. 3 bedrooms, hardwood floors, small yard. Nothing fancy. But it was mine. Paid in cash. No mortgage. No landlord. First time in my life I'd owned anything that mattered. I spent the first week unpacking, setting up furniture, hanging pictures. Put Dad's watch in a display case on my dresser. The Seiko with the engraving. Framed his letter. The one Patterson gave me. Hung it in my office. You got my values. Started freelancing again. Graphic design, marketing, whatever came my way. Difference now? I had boundaries. No family discounts. No, can you just take a quick look? No working for exposure. If someone wanted my work, they paid. Full rate. No negotiations. First client was a brewery in Boulder. Logo redesign, $3,500. Second was a tech startup. Brand package, $8,000. By March, I had steady income. Didn't need it. The investments covered living expenses. But I worked anyway, because work gave me purpose beyond money. March 15th was my birthday, 36. Text from Mom. Happy birthday, sweetheart. Miss you. Love you. Text from Cody. Happy birthday, Alex. Hope Denver's treating you well. I replied to both. Short, polite. Mom and I started having monthly calls. She'd ask about Denver. I'd ask about her garden. Safe topics. No mention of Dad, or Cody, or inheritance. Just trying to be mother and son without the weight. April 3rd, she asked, Do you forgive me yet? I thought about it. Some days I'm close, other days not. That's honest. It's all I have. She accepted it. Cody and I texted on birthdays and holidays. Nothing more. Surface level. Distant. But we existed to each other again. That was something. May brought an email. Subject. Thank you. From Cody. I almost deleted it. Opened it instead. Alex, I'm not good at this. Never have been. But Jessica told me if I don't say it now, I'll never say it. I was wrong. About the test. About the lawsuit. About everything. I spent 38 years being Robert Mitchell's son. When I found out I wasn't, I lost my mind. Felt like everything I was got erased. But therapy's helping. I'm learning I was never Robert Mitchell's son. I was just Cody. And I need to figure out who that is without a famous last name or a trust fund or someone fixing my mistakes. The $200,000 you sent changed my life. Paid off debt, gave me space to breathe. Started over. I don't expect us to be brothers again. Don't think I deserve that. But I wanted you to know I'm trying. I'm sorry for everything. Cody. Attached was a video. I clicked it. Cody sitting in his apartment. Messy hair, t-shirt, no suit. Hey, Alex. I wanted to record this because I'm bad at phone calls and worse at writing. He looked uncomfortable. Real. I've been thinking about Dad a lot, about what he taught us. Or tried to. Pause. He taught me that love means showing up. He showed up for me every day for 38 years even though I wasn't his. Never made me feel different. His voice cracked. And he taught you. That love means doing the right thing even when it's hard. You gave me money you didn't owe me. After I sued you. After I questioned if you were family. He wiped his eyes. I don't know if we'll ever be close. But I wanted to say thank you. And I'm sorry. And I hope you're happy. Because you deserve to be. Video ended. I watched it 3 times. Then closed my laptop. Sat there for a long time. Cody was trying. Actually trying. Didn't fix everything. Didn't erase the damage. But it was something. June 12th was Dad's birthday. Would have been 68. I drove to a park near my house, sat on a bench. Brought nothing, just sat. I sold your house, I said to the air. Got $2.1 million, gave Cody $200,000. Kept the rest. Hope that was right. Wind blew through the trees. Kids played on swings nearby. He's doing better. Therapy. New job. I pulled out Dad's watch. Looked at the engraving. To Robert, love always. Linda, 1985. Year before everything got complicated. I don't know if you'd be proud or disappointed. You said I got your values. I'm trying to live up to that. Sat there 20 more minutes. Didn't say anything else. Just sat with Dad one last time. Drove home feeling settled. Good settled. Like finishing a book you weren't sure would end right. July brought a surprise. Package at my door. No return address. Inside was a photo album. Old, leather-bound. Note attached in Mom's handwriting. Found this while cleaning? Thought you should have it. Mom. I opened it. First page. Me and Dad. Age 6. Fishing trip. Next page. Me and Dad. Age 12. Building a treehouse. Next. Me and Dad. Age 15. My first car. Page after page. Moments I'd forgotten. Every photo just me and Dad. No Cody. Last page had a note in Dad's handwriting. Dated March 2025. Month before he passed. Alex, if you're reading this, I'm gone. These are my favorite memories. Not because Cody wasn't there, but because these were the times you didn't need anything from me except time. That's what I valued most. Your independence, your strength, your ability to fix things without being asked. You got my values not because I taught them, but because you lived them. I love you. I'm proud of you. I always was. Dad. I closed the album. Set it on my shelf next to the framed letter. Sat on my couch staring at it. Dad had kept a whole album. Just for me. Moments I didn't know mattered. And he'd left a note knowing someday I'd need to read it. That night I called Mom. I got the album. Did you read the note? Yeah. Silence. Thank you, I said. You're welcome, sweetheart. We talked for an hour. Longest call we'd had since Dad passed away. About memories, about regrets, about moving forward. Before hanging up, she said, your father saw something in you we didn't see. He was right. What did he see? Someone who didn't need validation to be valuable. Thanksgiving. I spent alone, by choice. Cooked a small turkey, watched football, called Mom for 10 minutes. She invited me to visit for Christmas, said Cody and Jessica would be there. I'll think about it. That's all I ask. December 15th. I booked a flight home, not forever, just 5 days. Enough to see Mom. Have dinner with Cody and Jessica. Try to be family again. Not the family we were. The family we could be. Smaller. Scarred. But maybe functional. Christmas Eve dinner was exactly as awkward as expected. Mom's house, small table, 4 place settings. Me, Mom, Cody, Jessica. No one knew what to say at first. Jessica broke the ice. Alex, tell us about Denver. I told her about my house, my work, the mountains. She told me about her job, marketing, remote work. Cody stayed quiet mostly. Ate, listened. Halfway through dinner, he looked at me. I'm glad you came. Me too. That was it. No speeches, no apologies, just acknowledgement. After dinner, we sat in Mom's living room. Coffee, dessert. Cody pulled out his phone. I want to show you something. Pulled up a photo. His new apartment. Small, clean, decorated minimally. Paid off my debts, got my own place. Fresh start. Looks good. It's not much, but it's mine. I understood that more than he knew. Before leaving, Cody walked me to my car. I know we're not close, might never be, but I'm glad we're not enemies. Yeah, me too. He held out his hand. I shook it. Drove away watching Mom's house disappear in the mirror. Didn't feel sad, didn't feel relieved, just felt done. Not angry done, not bitter done, just complete. I flew back to Denver the day after Christmas. Back to my house, my routine, my life. Started a new project. Website redesign for a nonprofit. Pro bono. Because I had money I didn't need and time I could spare. New Year's Eve. I sat alone in my living room. No party, no plans. Just me and a beer in silence. Thought about the year. Dad's death. DNA test. Lawsuit. 2.6 million, moving to Denver. Cody's apology. Mom's album. Christmas dinner. All of it. Not good. Not bad. Just what happened. And I'd survived it. Came out the other side intact. January 3rd. Knock at my door. Unexpected. Opened it to find Uncle Jim. Uncle Jim, what are you doing here? Drove up. Wanted to see how you're doing. I let him in. We sat. Had coffee. Talked. Your mom told me you came for Christmas. Yeah. How was it? Awkward, but okay. He nodded. Your dad would be glad you tried. You think so? I know so. He called me before he passed. Said he worried you'd hate Cody after the will reading. Said he hoped you'd be bigger than that. I gave him $200,000. I heard. That's exactly what Robert meant. Uncle Jim finished his coffee. Stood. You did good, kid. Better than most would have. He left. I stood at my door watching him drive away. Felt something I hadn't felt in months. Pride. Not in the money. Not in winning. In the choice I made when I didn't have to make it. That was Dad's value. The one I inherited. Not wealth. Character. I'm 36 now. Own a house in Denver. Have $2.4 million invested. Work when I want. Say no when I don't. Mom visits twice a year. Cody texts on holidays. We're not the family we were. We're the family we became after everything fell apart. Smaller, scarred, functional enough, not the ending I expected. But it's mine. And I'm okay with that.